smoky or foggy?
That's the biggest
question. We're kind of trying to figure that out right now.
Yep, I asked that this morning.
It's smoky.
You guys think it's smoky. I'm not convinced. I can't smell any smoke, so.
We've been getting ready for 4.5 hours so far. I think Noah has taken his third bath of the morning. And we are ready to start up this nice trail.
On point.
All right.
It's a good spot to fill up. You wanna? At least get one full. Do it.
I got that on footage, Ian.
I know what you're talking about.
One at a time, maybe? Sorry. I'll wait for you. Yeah.
I'll take a picture.
Ian, let's just switch to crampons. What? Well, you can poop up here then.
I pooped way down there.
You did?
Yeah. Wait for the hut.
Oh, that's why you were so far behind us.
Yeah.
Figured there's something going on.
No.
Slush spot.
I don't like that either. Whoa!
Why you step right there?
I tried to cut across.
Same. Same.
I knew it.
Like right here.
I knew it wouldn't be. I looked on Google
Oh,
Earth.
ridiculous.
Just a document. Wrap around.
Right.
What do you think? 11,700 or 800 feet?
I feel like I'm the king of Canada.
No, we're just some regular American folks. I'm taking a video to show the head off. It's
Get her
pretty
time.
clutch. Got our gear here, plenty of beds. Here's what we did.
And here we go.
Give a quick rundown of our trip to Mount Assiniboine, mid-July 2023. So we drove up regular weekend, didn't take any days off. I believe I left around 3 or 4 from work in Kashmir. Met Ian Mock in Wenatchee at my house, and then we drove to pick up Noah in Spokane. Left Spokane 6 or 7, made the border crossing right here, if you can finally see with my mouse, in northern Idaho. Went up through Cranbrook, and then on this highway that takes you to all the Canadian mountain national parks, up past Kootenai Lake, and then you finally cross a mountain pass that is technically in Kootenai National Park, although there wasn't too much to see. And then you branch off on this river on an old, or not old, but a limestone mine gravel road that goes forever, but it's super smooth gravel road. Eventually, I believe at this spot, you turn off of that and follow a little bit rougher 4x4 road up to the trailhead, which I'm unsure of what the name of the trailhead is, but I believe people mostly use it for Cinnabon or Cinnabon Lake. We slept there that night, didn't get too cold. It was pretty hazy. We didn't get to sleep till 1 or 2 a.m. Mountain time. Yeah, I started hiking at around 6 after Noah had his leisurely morning packing routine. Blazed up this trail in only an hour, maybe just under 2 hours, to a Cinnabon Lake right here, which is absolutely beautiful. From there, you go along the side of the lake and then start gaining elevation pretty steadily until you get to here, where it turns into a loose rock slide that you are trying to walk up. It's totally loose scree, which I've heard is typical of the Rockies. From there, it, I guess, levels out a little bit. You do quite a bit of side hilling. We went too high here. We went a little bit of up and then down, when it would have been a lot more moderate to just continue down kind of in the valley down here and work our way up. I'll switch to 3D here so you can see how much elevation we are gaining. So steady up until you reach the toe of the glacier about here. The glacier was pretty melted out. It was mostly ice, and we were actually able to walk up it without using our crampons. It's covered in like little pieces of rock that are frozen into the ice, so it makes like natural traction. So we basically found out we didn't even need to bring crampons on this trip, but had them along anyways. You follow that until you get to the last little climb before this saddle here, which is another just horribly loose scree slope, which we went up kind of 3 abreast because there's no way to prevent knocking massive rocks down on each other at this spot. From there, once you get to this saddle, you have a view of the hut way over here, and then the base of the North Ridge you got to traverse over here. A lot of people, I believe, go drop stuff at the hut and then go up, but that you'll see when you get here, but it adds at least a mile, probably more, in maybe 300, 400, 500 feet of elevation gain that we decided we didn't really want to do since we were summiting on day 1. So we went down and took a hard right down here on some steep snow, and then traversed left, trying to stay as high as possible to get above some cliff bands that are down here. The path should be pretty obvious. The base of the North Ridge, where it goes from scree slope to actual climbing, is pretty clear what you're aiming for. We stopped at a very small waterfall to fill up water here. Over here, took a break, ate a bunch of food for lunch, huge dehydrated meals. Shout out to Peak Refuel for the like 1,200 calorie meals or whatever that red sauce pasta is. So we started the technical climbing. Uh, Goes up a fourth class goalie right here, and then levels out to third class, basically until you get to the bottom of what they call the red band, which a lot of people were saying was like the crux, but it was not more than fourth class. So not a huge deal. After that, we went up some more third class, loose third class, but still third class. Got to the bottom of the gray band, which people say is the crux of the whole route, and it did not look hard at all. So we ditched the rope, harnesses, all the extra technical equipment that we didn't need, and just committed to free soloing it. We also left our ice tools down here because the route was snow free for the most part. Contrary to what the Rangers had told us prior to leaving, they said no one had summited because of massive winter storms, and we found it to be completely dry. So we free soloed the gray band, which is maybe low fifth class, like we're talking like 5.0, nothing crazy. After the gray band, you kind of cut left a little bit to the actual ridge crest where you get a view of this insanely steep, I believe it would be the east face, super steep, like thousands of feet, maybe 3,000 feet of seemingly sheer vertical. It's probably 1,000 feet of true vertical, where it's totally plumb. You could drop a rock and fall 1,000 feet, and then it just barely lessens after that. So you stay along the ridge crest. From that point up, the rock gets a lot more solid. So even though there might be a couple like 5.0 moves, they're really not difficult since the rock is super solid. From there, we just kept climbing up. There's wrap anchors. This is a pretty popular route, so you can see where you're going clearly. This is a small picture of what it looked like when you're almost to the ridge crest. And then once you finally get up to the crest, it's just a walk to the summit, which was a snow field with a little cornice. We had some great views from the top. This is a super prominent peak, actually, which I did not realize, since it's not really on a ton of, seemingly not on a ton of peak bagging lists, but the route is very aesthetic and had amazing views from the top. I think we went from base of the North Ridge to the summit in 3 to 4 hours. You'd have to check my GPX track to confirm that, but it took us more time to go down than to go up. It probably took 4+ hours, maybe 4.5 to get to the bottom of the North Ridge. From there, we were absolutely exhausted, went down to the hut with the rest of our stuff, cooked up some food, went to bed around 10 p.m., and then made the slog out the next morning, and we were back to the truck by maybe 10 a.m. I had a little stare down with a grizzly bear, probably a mile from the truck. It was just standing on the trail staring at me. That was a first, but I yelled and he ran away. And then we just finished the 9 or 10 hour drive home with a little bit of sitting and waiting at the border. And that was it. Okay, we'll go to the gear breakdown here from Mount Assiniboine North Ridge. This is lighter pack. I keep everything on here. This is the gear we took and what it weighed. So let's get to it. Backpack. I've got the Hyperlight Prism. Worked great for this trip. It's pretty light, and the fabric's pretty thick, so it's durable enough. Spork water bottle. We took Smart Water bottles with the Sawyer Squeeze Mini filter. Didn't know my brother had the mini and asked him to bring the filter, and I should have just brought the regular Squeeze because that mini one sucks. Sleeping bag. I've just got this cheap hiking bike Ulyss Zero. I think it's 800 fill power. Totally does the job. It's 3.36 pounds, which is good enough. It was totally overkill for this. Probably only got down to mid 40s, maybe 50 at night, especially sleeping in the hut, which was very luxurious and not something that we are used to in the USA. Clothes, just took synthetic t-shirt, Rab 0G down jacket, which didn't really need it, never got that cold. Thin gloves, socks, merino wool, sunglasses, never used them, was pretty overcast. Hard shell jacket, I have the black diamond sharp end, which is a little outdated at this point, but it's thick and it works great. It's got a few patches. Mountaineering boots, did the whole thing in the Sportiva Trengo Tower Extremes, which are great for rock climbing, and okay on the approach if you use a lot of blister tape, preemptively, I should say. Pants, never used these, wasn't that cold. Shorts, just have cheapo running shorts and boxers, which I did the whole thing in, even when it was hailing and snowing, so probably just at 32 degrees, we were moving fast enough to where shorts was totally fine. Ice axe, I did not take this ice axe. I actually took ice tools. I have the black diamond cobras and never used them. Also crampons, I took black diamond snaggletooth. Honestly, we had a bit of an exaggerated conditions report saying that the whole mountain was going to be covered in snow. It was totally dry, so we never needed any of this equipment. We ditched it partway up the route. And even if there was snow, a single mountaineering axe would be sufficient for this climb, even in the snow. I don't think you need climbing tools for this. My little emergency pliers, trekking poles, water, I just plugged 3 pounds. I think I just carried 1 liter at a time. There was quite a bit of water fill-up spots. Bathroom supplies, 1 pound. Food, we had 5 pounds at breakfast, lunch, dinner, day 1, and breakfast and lunch for day 2, plus a bunch of snacks. iPhone, I got the iPhone 12 Pro and a Nightcore battery. Phone's kind of old, so it does not last for these full 2-day or day-and-a-half trips anymore. Headlamp and headphones. Brought my total weight to, I did take ice tools, so it was probably closer to 30 pounds. Consumables, 8 pounds. Worn weight, 4 pounds, which brings my base weight to about 16, including quite a bit of technical gear. Ian carried the rope. I think we have the black diamond. It's their thinnest single alpine rope. I think we just took a 42-meter section of it, but unless you're very uncomfortable on loose rock, you don't need it. This route is totally free soloable. And then we took harnesses as well, so I might have been a touch over 30 pounds, which is still great for alpine climbing. Sleeping in a hut really helps you cut weight. So yeah, that's the breakdown.